Hey everyone, it's Kai. From the skeleton tarantula to fish with large toothy smiles, here are 10 of the creepiest creatures in the world. Number 10. The skeleton tarantula. It's a big world with countless species still to be discovered, and this one definitely belongs on this list. Did you know there's a breed of tarantula that looks like a skeleton? It kind of looks like it wears a Halloween costume all year round. The skeleton tarantula has a lovely black velvet base, brown carapace, and pale white markings on its legs, giving it the skeleton look. Its abdomen and all 8 legs are covered in sporadic ginger-colored hairs. This beautiful yet slightly scary creature can be found in Brazil. It's not the biggest tarantula in the world. It actually only grows about 6 inches, but what it lacks in size, it makes up for with its aggressive behavior. That's right, this is not an easygoing spider. They are defensive and cranky, and you probably don't want to think about handling one. It's better to appreciate this spider from a distance, though there are many people who have them as pets, and they will be the first to tell you it doesn't take much to set it off. This New World tarantula uses a pretty strange defense mechanism. Instead of using its back legs to flick off irritating hairs from its abdomen, like a lot of other spiders do, its irritating hairs are flicked from the front legs, and you don't want to get hit in the face by those hairs. If you really push your luck, you may end up with a nasty bite too. The skeleton spider likes to avoid the heat when it can. It will burrow underground to escape the scorching sun. Oh, and they're super fast. When it comes to the spider's diet, it's nothing out of the ordinary. It has a hearty appetite and will munch down on anything smaller than itself that it can sink its fangs in. So the usual crickets, roaches, mealworms, flies, spider food. You're not on the menu, don't worry. The skeleton tarantula isn't poisonous, but it doesn't make this aggressive, freaky creature any less creepy. Number 9. Terrible claw lobster. You never really know what you're going to find when you go deep, deep down into the ocean. There's all kinds of creepy-looking fish down there, and this next incredible creature was discovered during a 2007 Census of Marine Life expedition. The expedition aimed to discover more of the world's sea life. Little did they know that they would end up finding this tiny monster-clawed creature. This species of lobster was found about 300 meters deep, but strangely enough, it had rather well-developed eyes. Maybe it wants to be able to see how it scares the bejeebus out of all the other sea creatures in its path. It's only about 3 centimeters in length. Its toothed claws might be the only intimidating thing going for this guy. There's also something about its coloring that makes those who find it a little weary. Mostly a translucent white color, the reddish-pink hue of its tail fin, antenna, and front claws makes it look decidedly more freaky. The terrible lobster claw has one oversized, crazy-looking front claw that measures twice the length of the other. Take my strong claw. That was my terrible claw lobster voice. It's also equipped with saw-like teeth on the claws that scientists aren't really entirely sure what they're used for yet. What they do know is this unique-looking lobster is extremely rare and, frankly, a creepy little guy. Hey, real quick, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Give this video a like and hit that subscribe button for more videos like these. Number 8. Coffin ray. Next up is the coffin ray. Found in the subtropical waters off Australia, the coffin ray lives on the sandy or muddy bottoms of various bays and estuaries. This pear-shaped blobby fish sort of looks like a rock until it starts moving. This is a stealthy breed. These carnivores bury themselves in the sediment to blend in and wait for unsuspecting prey. Although they may not look particularly scary or threatening, the coffin ray has electric organs on each side of his body that deliver a powerful electric shock to stun its prey. Coffin rays are also able to swallow large food items and have sometimes been known to feast on the occasional little penguin. It's also known as the Australian numbfish or crampfish. The flattened pear-shaped coffin ray can also deliver a powerful shock not just to its prey, but to off-guard swimmers and divers. Number 7. Ghost bat. Just because the ghost bat is also known as the Australian false vampire bat doesn't mean it's any less creepy. Ghost bats can be found in the rainforest areas of northern Australia. They've also been known to roost in caves, old mine tunnels, and also in deep cracks in large rocks. The ghost bat gets its name from its coloring, which is light gray or almost white in appearance. They also have large, long ears and a wingspan of about 20 inches. Their ghostly color and secretive behavior make them seemingly vanish, like ghosts. Even miners who enter the tunnels where the bats live claim they didn't even know the ghost bats were in the area. Making these bats even more scary is the fact that they are the only carnivorous bats found in Australia. They tend to dine on large insects, reptiles, frogs, birds, small mammals, and sometimes even other bat species. The ghost bat is not particularly picky either, and will eat the flesh, bones, and teeth of the bugs and creatures they capture. If you happen to be out for a stroll at night, you might want to be aware of your surroundings. The ghost bat likes to swoop down on their prey from above. It envelops its intended target with its flight membranes, killing them with bites to the head and neck, making them not exactly a false vampire bat at all. Number 6. Goblin shark. One of the ugliest looking and unusual underwater creatures is the goblin shark. The goblin shark gets its name from the prominent snout that overhangs its gruesome teeth. They're often called a living fossil. They've been around since the Cretaceous period. Its snout, which differs from other shark species, is flattened, protruding from the top of the head and resembling the blade of a sword. Inside its jaw, there are from 35 to 53 rows of upper teeth and 31 to 62 rows of lower teeth. The jaws of the shark have the ability to slide forward due to the specialized joints in their mouths, allowing them to move abruptly and quickly take in the body of their prey easily. The goblin shark mostly feeds on squids, crabs, and octopus. Because its blood vessels are very close to the skin, the shark has a pink hue to it. They measure between 10 to 13 feet and can reach up to 440 to 660 pounds. The species can swim in both shallow and deep waters. They're found in the Pacific, Indian, and Atlantic Oceans. The goblin shark mostly concentrates in waters of Japan, Australia, and New Zealand. Though sightings of the shark are pretty rare, which probably helps scuba divers and snorkelers able to sleep a little better at night. Number 5. Vampire squid. Although most of the creepy creatures featured so far live up to their namesake, the vampire squid doesn't look particularly scary at first glance. Its name comes from the distinct black color and the fact that it has long arms that flow like a black cape Dracula might wear. However, you wouldn't want to get into a warm embrace with the vampire squid, because its arms have suckers that are hard to see unless you look close enough, not that you would. They can grow up to 1 foot in length. Their eyes often look red, lending even more to their eerie name. Because they live in the cold, deep water, the dark color helps to act as camouflage against predators. The vampire squid was first identified in 1903 and was originally believed to be an octopus because of its distinctive movements underwater that make it look like it's flying. The way they flap their fins also gives them the ability to slow down and be more targeted when hunting prey. They also don't have ink to shoot when they feel threatened, like an octopus. They instead shoot out a type of mucus, which might put you in a sticky situation should you run into one of them. Number 4. Squidworm. Not to be confused with Squidward from SpongeBob, which is what I thought it said at first. In 2010, a new underwater creature was discovered in the deep ocean, the squidworm. Researchers found a free-swimming worm with up to 10 squid-like limbs in the waters between the Philippines and Indonesia. The squidworm looks like a combination of half squid and half worm, but it's actually all worm. It's a member of the group that includes familiar earthworms and the blood-sucking leeches. Adding to the nightmare fuel are the 10 tentacle-like appendages that sprout from its head and are as long as, and sometimes even longer, than the worm itself. The creepy creature has no eyes. The squidworm makes its way around by using its frilly organs to smell. It also has small structures at the tips of its appendages used for touch. The squidworm doesn't just look a little unsavory. Their diet, which consists of marine snow or the remains of dead animals, cast-off mucus, and waste material, are equally as unappealing. However, just because the little creatures aren't particularly photogenic doesn't mean that we cannot still be in awe of the diverse and remarkable creatures such as the squidworm. Number 3. Sea spiders. You may be a little relieved to know that a sea spider isn't bristly like a tarantula, but that doesn't mean they are any less hair-raising. One of the most intriguing facts about the sea spider is that they have extremely small bodies and very long legs, which house most of their organs. They are of the same class, Arachnida, as spiders, mites, scorpions, and ticks. They were classified as arachnids because they do resemble spiders, but after researchers studied their anatomy and biology, they were moved into a new group with the Chelicerata species. Curiously, though, their bodies don't appear to have much else apart from their long legs and proboscis. They don't really have a body. Their organs are in their long legs. Sea spiders are sometimes called pantopoda, meaning all legs, because of their bizarre anatomy. Species of sea spiders found in coastal waters are usually smaller and have a leg span of about 1 inch, but those living at great depths have a leg span of up to 24 inches. The lack of an obvious body means sea spiders don't need to deal with a respiratory system. Simple diffusion can deliver gases to all of the tissues. They are also so common that they can be found in seas and oceans all over the world, sometimes in the deep, where they're able to easily blend into their environment. Other times, they can be found at the surface. But wherever they're discovered, they use their proboscis to suck their fluids, the same way spiders do. Number 2. Black Sea Devil Anglerfish. With their gaping, toothy grins and glowing esca, that thing that looks like an antenna that extends from their heads to help lure prey, anglerfish are definitely one of the least photogenic underwater creatures. The Black Sea Devil Anglerfish got its 15 minutes of fame as one of the villainy fish in the Disney movie Finding Nemo. But the things that make them less than photogenic are the very things that have helped them adapt to their deep water habitat. You probably also remember the fish's crazy teeth, which it uses to impale its prey. The Black Sea Devil Anglerfish is able to consume prey much larger than it. The species evolved over 100 million years ago. Believe it or not, the most gruesome thing about this strange fish isn't necessarily its looks. When the male and female prepare to mate, the male, the smaller of the two, bites onto the female fish. As their tissues fuse, the male's body degenerates, but its internal organs continue to live, so the female can continue to nourish the male until she's ready to procreate. Oh, and she carries him for the rest of his life. Aww. Number 1. Trilobite beetles. Trilobite beetles are a stunning example of nature at work. They're found in tropical rainforests in Asia and India. While the first female of the species was found in the 1800s, it took researchers more than 100 years to find a male of the species. The male of the species are much smaller than the female and look like you might expect a beetle to look, with long, dark, flat winged bodies, armored scales, and thick antennas. The females retain their larval form for their entire life and have bright red markings. They can also retract their heads when they feel threatened. They are a rare find, so there's still much to be unearthed about these prehistoric-looking creatures. Some scientists believe that they are predators and eat snails and other insects, while others think they are a little less bloodthirsty and live off fungi, slime, and mold. Lending to their air of mystery, trilobite beetles have only ever been observed mating twice since they were first discovered, allowing this elusive creature to still hold much of its mystery tightly concealed. Thanks for watching. Which of these creepy creatures was the weirdest or coolest to you? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next time. Bye!